Welcome back, hatchlings, to the Hen House Files, where feathers tremble in the dark and every branch could be hiding something wicked. Tonight, we find ourselves in the quaint, isolated town of Hollow Creek, nestled between undulating hills and an ancient, whispering forest that seems to hold its breath as the sun sets on the 4th of July. The air is thick with the scent of fireworks and the underlying current of dread that clings to the townsfolk like a shroud. This story is called The Forest Reckoning. Hollow Creek has a history as dark as the forest that surrounds it. Legend has it that the trees are not just wood and bark, but living, breathing entities that absorb the memories and emotions of those who enter their realm. The townsfolk know better than to venture too deep, especially on this night, for the forest has a hunger that must be sated. As the sun dips below the horizon, the townspeople gather in the square, their faces a mix of excitement and apprehension. The children play, but their laughter is forced, their eyes darting nervously towards the tree line. The adults chat in hushed tones, their smiles tight, their hands clutching rosaries or small talismans for protection. The forest, meanwhile, seems to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The trees creak and groan, their branches swaying as if dancing to a macabre melody. The whispers grow louder, a chorus of voices from the past, their words indistinct, but their intent clear. They want to be remembered. Little Tommy, a curious and brave boy of 10, decides he wants to see what's happening in the woods. He sneaks away from the celebration, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. As he approaches the tree line, the whispers envelop him, their voices clear and insistent. Remember us, Tommy. Don't forget. He steps into the forest, and the trees seem to close in around him, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers, blocking out the moonlight. The whispers are deafening now, a cacophony of voices, some pleading, some angry, all desperate to be heard. Tommy tries to turn back, but the trees are moving, their roots snaking across the ground, tripping him, pulling him deeper into the woods. Panicked, Tommy runs, the voices chasing him, their words now clear. We are the forgotten, Tommy. Remember us, or join us. He trips and falls, his hands touching something cold and hard. He looks down and sees a skull, its empty eye sockets seeming to stare right through him. Beside it, a rotting uniform, the remnants of a soldier's jacket, the fabric decayed, but the buttons still shiny. Tommy screams, and the forest falls silent. The trees stop moving, and the whispers fade away. He looks up, and standing before him is an old woman, her eyes milky with cataracts, her face etched with lines of age and sorrow. She's been in the forest for as long as anyone can remember, a hermit, a witch, a guardian of the woods. Her name is Martha, and she is the keeper of the forest's secrets. You should not have come here, child, she says, her voice like the rustling of leaves. The forest remembers, and it wants to be remembered. But it is a hungry thing, and it feeds on the living. It takes their memories, their essence, and adds it to its own. Tommy looks around, his breath coming in short gasps. He sees faces in the trees, ghosts of the past, their mouths open in silent screams. He recognizes some of them, townsfolk who had gone missing over the years, their fates now clear. They are trapped, their spirits bound to the trees, forever reliving their final moments. Martha takes his hand, her grip surprisingly strong. Come, child, let me show you the way out. But mark my words, stay away from the forest, especially on this night. The trees remember, and they will have their due. As they walk, Martha tells Tommy the story of the forest. Long ago, this forest was a sacred place, a sanctuary for those who sought solace. But a great war came, and the forest became a battlefield. The trees absorbed the pain, the fear, the anger of those who died here. They became something else. She points to a particularly gnarled tree, its branches twisted into a grotesque parody of a human form. That was a soldier once. Now, he is the tree, forever reliving his death. The forest does not discriminate, child. It takes all, and it gives nothing back. Tommy shudders, his eyes wide with horror. He follows Martha out of the forest, his heart heavy with the knowledge of what he's seen. As they step out of the woods, the fireworks end, and the townsfolk turn to see Tommy, pale and shaken, escorted by the hermit. From that night on, Tommy is changed. He never speaks of what he saw, but his eyes hold a wisdom beyond his years, a sadness that can't be shaken. And every 4th of July, as the town celebrates, he stays close to home, his eyes on the forest, a silent guardian against the memories that linger in the trees. But the forest is not done with Tommy. Every year, on the anniversary of his encounter, he wakes up to find leaves and twigs in his bed, the scent of the woods clinging to his pillow. And in his dreams, he hears the whispers, the voices of the forgotten, calling to him, begging him to remember. One year, Tommy decides to face his fear. He goes into the forest, armed with a small knife and a determination to free the spirits that haunt the trees. He finds Martha, older and more frail, but her eyes still burning with an inner fire. "You've come back, child," she says, a note of approval in her voice. "The forest has chosen you. It wants you to be its voice, its memory." Tommy nods, his resolve strengthening. With Martha's guidance, he begins to free the spirits, one by one, cutting into the trees, releasing the essence that binds them. It's a painful process for both Tommy and the spirits, but it must be done. As the years pass, Tommy becomes a legend in Hollow Creek. He is the boy who faced the forest and lived, the guardian who freed the spirits of the past. But with each spirit he frees, a piece of him remains in the forest, a part of its memory, a part of its hunger. And so, the cycle continues, the forest's reckoning, the memory of the past, the hunger of the present. And Tommy, the boy who dared to enter the whispering woods, becomes a part of the legend, a spirit among the trees, forever remembering, forever forgotten. And so, the forest claims another soul, another memory to add to its endless hunger. But remember, hatchlings, it's not just the woods that hold secrets. Sometimes, the darkness is closer than you think. Stay tuned for more chilling tales from the Hen House Files, where every cluck and caw hides a story that'll make your feathers stand on end. Until next time, keep your beak shut and your wits about you. You never know what's lurking in the shadows, waiting to add your memory to its own. Good night, hatchlings. Sweet dreams.